Okay, so we are recording. Thank you very much, Dr. Shaw, for coming for our Everly Center Spotlight series and presenting on COVID-19 challenge and opportunity for data science. I will start out by reading Dr. Shaw's bio to get us started, and then I will pass it over. So Dr. Chin Shaw joined the Department of Mathematics and Statistics at the University of Toledo in 2002 and became a full professor in statistics in 2013. Her research interests include both methodology and applications of statistics. She has publications in some prestigious journals in statistics, such as Journal of the Royal Statistical Society Series B and the American Statistician. She was the director of the Statistical Consulting Service for 7 years, and she has supervised 5 doctoral students in statistics. She is also an elected member of the International Statistical Institute, which is a merit-based membership. She is associate editor for Statistics and Biosciences and Translation, the University of Toledo Journal of Medical Sciences, and review editor for Frontier in Applied Mathematics and Statistics, Mathematics of Computation and Data Science. She is one of the principal founders and the advisor of the Data Science Concentration in the Department of Mathematics and Statistics. She has been the principal organizer of the Data Science Seminar since spring 2019, which aims at introducing this exciting burgeoning area to a general audience, exploring interdisciplinary collaboration opportunities in both education and research, and enriching students' education at UT. She has organized several series of presentations, such as Python, the most popular data science software, and challenges and opportunities of COVID-19 for data science. Dr. Shaw is also an active member on campus. In addition to many service positions she has held in the Department of Mathematics and Statistics, she was the council chair of the College of Natural Sciences and Mathematics from 2019 to 2020, and has been a member of the Natural Sciences and Mathematics Diversity and Inclusion Committee. Very, very cool. So that is our bio for Dr. Shaw, and without further ado, I will go ahead and pass it over to you, Dr. Shaw.
Thank you. Thank you for your nice introduction. I would like to thank Dr. Fitzpatrick for providing this opportunity, and also Ms. Brock for making the arrangement. Under the leadership of Dr. Fitzpatrick, this Everly Center for Women has become a really important platform to empower women. So I'm very happy to be part of this effort and share my professional activities with the audience here today. I hope the audience will find my presentation to be useful and informative. Okay, let me use this. Okay, so I found this map online. I just want to give you some idea where I was from, right? So I was born in this Tianjin, this right here. Let me get this highlight here. So it's very close, a city very close to the capital, Beijing. This is Beijing, the capital Beijing. My hometown is right here, Tianjin. Shanghai is over there. Another city, Wuhan, right? That made the name in 2019 is over there. I was born in Tianjin and I went to school over there. Let me move on to the. So I worked over there for 4 years before I came to this country. When I was preparing for this presentation, I was thinking about my college life over there. Back then, when I was in school, I don't know what's going on now, but when I was in school, we had classes. So there were 3 students in my class. The 30 students, not 3, right? 30 students in my class. The 30 students did everything together. So we took exactly the same classes. We had exactly the same schedule. So we spent 4 years together. Among these 30 students, there were 6 females. I didn't think about it so much, but when I recall, I think, oh yes, so 20% female, right, in the class. So I was in the math department. After I joined UT, I had been an only female faculty member for a while, so I'm still the only full professor in the math department. In 2015, we hired 2 more female faculty members, and in 2016 we hired another one. So things is getting better, but I think the effort of Elderly Women Center for Women is so important. So it's very important to raise this about awareness, how important women in STEM, right? So this I really appreciate the work this Elderly Center for Women is doing. I'm proud to be part of the programs, right? So after I graduated from University of Georgia, I was hired by UT, so I landed my career at UT. So I have been teaching and performing research in statistics since then. Over the years, I also took several service positions. Here are just some examples of these service positions. My talk today has 2 themes. One is about this project I did with several colleagues on campus. And the other one is the data science concentration in the math department. So no, probably you remember last year around this time, this COVID-19, right, swept across the world and brought severe interruption to our lives. UT started this working remotely on March 19th. All the states gradually started this lockdown. So I was thinking my priority back then was just to make sure my students' learning was not affected so much. I was trying to do a good job. I was trying to teach online as well as in classroom. Although this sudden change brought a lot of challenges. On top of that, I was thinking what I could do to help the community. So I noticed a lot of websites that posted and updates data about COVID-19. For example, here, this Ohio State dashboard has very detailed information about all the reported positive cases. So for each case, I summarized the information here. Let me make it just slightly smaller so that they can see the entire screen. So we, for each reported positive case, it has the record about the county, the gender, also some other information. I thought I could help people understand this deadly virus by doing some data analysis. One of the important indicators about severity of virus is how deadly it is. But I noticed, let me show you, go back to this slide. I noticed on this website, they put these cases and the deaths separately. also we use different scales for these two different cases, counts. So it's hard to tell how deadly the virus is from the website. So we did some preliminary data analysis. So one of the things we did is this. So we put all these counts in one plot. So these two, the plot on the left is the counts, accumulative counts, and the other one on the right is the daily counts. So we noticed, for example, here the data, the plot includes the data from the beginning of last year to the end of July. So we noticed, so this death count had been, I think, had flattened by the end of July, but the case count was still going up. So that this difference looks promising, right? So this difference between these two counts is reflected also by this daily count plot on the right. So the death count has this peak, I think, around between April and May. But the case count has several peaks. The last one happened between, I think, June and July. We calculated the mortality rate based on the ratio of these two counts. So the result is 3.8%. So we also calculated the mortality rate for all these age by gender groups. So we have two different genders, and we have 8 different age groups. So we had a total of 16 groups. We summarized the calculation results in these two plots. So essentially, these two plots are identical. We just illustrate the information in two different ways. The one on the left is the axis here is the age, and the Y vertical line is the mortality rate. If we take a look at this plot carefully, we'll find this the trend is going up and up as age increases. So the worst age group is this 80s, right? 80s. For each age group, we all find some the difference between two genders. So the gender difference is getting bigger and bigger as age increases. So we can conclude the same thing based on the plot on the right. So this is just our visual observation. So we want to do some rigorous data analysis. So I think the most appropriate model is this logistic regression. The reason which we chose that model is this. So we noticed this for each positive reported case, there are two possible outcomes, dead or alive. Also, for each case, we have the information about the gender and age. So we got all this information from the website, so it's public information. What we are interested in is this: what is the probability, how the probability of COVID-19 death is related to gender and age. So here is the regression model. So the regression model is very similar to linear regression. So the right-hand side is almost identical, so it's a linear function. The left-hand side is slightly more complicated. So we don't model the probability which we are interested in directly. So we are modeling a function of this probability. Here are the conclusions based on our data analysis. So essentially, I think these conclusions coincide with our vision. So essentially, these conclusions coincide with our visual observations. On top of these visual observations, the data analysis provides more detailed information. For example, if we want to compare these two extreme groups, one group is the male group in 80s, and the other is the female group in teens. So the conclusion is this: so a male COVID-19 patient in his 80s is almost 3,000 more likely to die than a female teenager patient. So I just mentioned this as a statistician. We just do this data analysis. But on the other hand, I do feel every death is a tragedy. So we don't want any one case to happen. But this is just a data analysis. We also illustrate these results in the plot here. Again, the same story. The X, the horizontal line is the age. The vertical line is the probability. So as age increases, the probability of death, right? The probability of death is getting bigger and bigger. Also, the difference between these two age groups, two gender groups, is getting bigger and bigger too. Just out of curiosity, I also found some information about death and mortality data in this country in 2019. So the overall death rate is this, 0.87%. But probably you remember, let me go back to this page, we calculated this here, right? This mortality rate, 3.8%. But here's the difference. When we calculated this rate, the denominator over there is just reported positive case number. So essentially it's the count of the positive cases. But here, this rate is calculated based on the entire population. I also found the information about these leading causes of death in 2019. So I also calculated this rate based on the death count and also the estimated population in 2019. So it's not very here, right? It's not very accurate because I just used the population size in 2019. So here's the conclusion by July 31st. So 0.075%. So according to this percentage, it should be ranked, I think, as the third, right? The third over there in the table between these cancer and accidents. I also calculated to prepare for this talk, right? I also calculated this by July 31st. The rate became bigger, but it's still slightly lower than the most, the number one, right? Heart disease. I think we are still watching the data, this dashboard closely. So we'll give you an update in the future. So this is a perfect example project for data science that involves mathematics, statistics, computer science, and some domain knowledge. So there are many there are many data science programs on campus. Our data science concentration is very unique because it's the only program on campus that provides a solid foundation for data science, which consists of math, statistics, and computer science. So if you're a student and you are looking for a major that will lead you to a high-paying jobs, definitely you should consider this option. A student who graduates from our program will be competent of doing all different kinds of jobs. Here are just some examples. Data science has been listed as the most top jobs in demand for many years. So I found this information. I just updated the information for the talk. So last year, I think I started paying attention for several years ago. It has been like this for a while. Okay, let me just concentrate on this our program. And our program have many advantages. For example, you can get opportunities to develop these in-demand core skills, and you also have some opportunities to interact with mathematicians and statisticians on research, and also some interdisciplinary projects. So you can get involved in my projects, right? The project I just mentioned about COVID-19. Also, here's another benefit I really want to mention. Data science seminar. I happen to be the principal founder of this seminar. So that when we started this seminar, we want this seminar to benefit both faculty members and students. So many faculty members and these data science advocates presented at the seminar, and also graduate students presented at the seminar too. We also hosted several series of presentations. Here's just one series of presentations about Python. Python is the most popular software in data science. Here's another series we hosted. So in this academic year, we have been hosting a series of talks about COVID-19. So if you are interested in giving a talk, or you want to know more information about the seminar, don't hesitate to contact me. Probably, I did it too quickly, only half an hour, but here's some information about our plan for the seminar. So if you have any questions about my talk, about the program, or about the seminar, just feel free to contact me. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for spending your lunchtime with me. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shaw. I do actually have a question for you. What would be something, for the young women who are interested in, science, mathematics, women in STEM in general, interested in those kinds of things? What would your, piece of advice be for those young women to encourage them to pursue this field?
I think the most important thing is you follow your heart. Don't just think, oh, because I'm a woman, if I do math, people would think I'm weird. Just follow your heart and pursue your dream.
Thank you. This was enlightening, and I think kind of along the lines of what Kayla was asking. One of the things that we know is that there are so many different there's so much labor that goes into creating more equitable communities, right? So creating gender racial equity. So could you talk to us a little bit about how you see data science contributing to gender equity, right? Like why? So let's say we've got a young woman and she's a fierce feminist and she wants to make the world better for women, and she is a data geek, right? And she loves crunching numbers. Where could she invest her energy? What are some of the areas where we need data science to help us advance the world for women?
Data science is what I want to say is I think data science is really a burgeoning area in computer era. Also, a good thing about data science is really interdisciplinary in nature. So after you have these in-demand core skills about the data analysis, you can contribute to do some data analysis about, for example, women. So anything related to women, women equity, for example. I remember something I talked to people, even when I teach, there's some data related to this equity. For example, I remember one of the data sets in one of my classes is about, they did some about survey. So they did some survey about the view of society toward what women should do. So the question is, I remember, so women should stay home. But the survey was done long time ago, I think in 1970s. But I think it's still a very important topic now. So they did this survey, asked this question to many people. So they asked this question to males and also females with different backgrounds. So they want to see the difference between among these attitudes from different people with different backgrounds. So they have some guys, they have some women. Also, these people have different education levels. So I remember the conclusion was, so the more educated people are more negative. I mean, in terms of this, more people think women should not just stay home. So that's a good thing about education. So I think this is very important. If after I think you have enough skills, you can help to raise this kind of awareness about importance of women in all different areas, especially women in STEM. So another example, I think women are still relatively low paid, right? Low paid. So we need to collect data. We need to do some data analysis to show people, right?
Yeah, exactly. We definitely need more we need more data. And I think too, like, you know, the point that we should be looking at things from a gender perspective as well. There is a book called I'm looking around because I have it somewhere, maybe it's at my house, but it's called, I think, Invisible Women, and it's about the data bias or like gender bias in the data and how, you know, something like a how like the city uses data to figure out which streets they're going to plow, but the data that they're looking at is the data based on how men are using streets because they're looking at a particular type of worker, right? And they're not thinking about how, let's say, women who are dropping children off to school and daycares before they go to their job would be using the city. And so like just even something like how a city plows its streets can be biased by gender because they're not taking gender into account when they do data analysis. Anyway, have you seen this book? It's a fascinating book.
Okay, I'm sorry I haven't heard about this book. Could you please send me the title? I will try to read it. It sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yes. So I became even more aware of I became even more aware of the difference between these two genders after I was hired. Especially in math, I think it's. Yeah, but as I mentioned, it's getting better. We hired, I think we have hired 3 female faculty members since 2015.
That's awesome. Yeah. And it just takes time, and it takes, I think, also intention, right? An intentional effort to address inequities as they arrive, you know, assuming that no one's out to get anyone, but here's a way that the system is not working. So let's fix it.
Yes, sure. Yeah, the center has been doing a fantastic job. So you just did, I think, this conference, right?
Yes, we did. We did our gender equity summit, and that was really, really a treat. It was fantastic.
I attended the conference, but I didn't go to all the talks, but I went to just one, I think.
Oh, thank you.
I had to teach, so I couldn't do all the talks.
Dr. Shao, I have one more question for you. This is like my typical one that I ask when people do research. I don't know why, but it's what was something that, you know, through your research that you've done, what really surprised you by what you found?
Pardon? I didn't hear it clearly, the last sentence.
No problem. I'll repeat myself. So what surprised you the most in your research that you did?
I think I learned, I'm still learning, so you do research, I think you learn by doing it. So at the beginning, I didn't know so much. So my advice is doing research is not easy. So it's not easy. But if you work hard, you feel, that's at least my feeling, I always feel very happy, very satisfied after I overcome some challenges in research. So for example, this project, I was very happy to see the results. So first of all, as I mentioned, I feel like I'm helping other people understand this virus. Also, I feel much confident about the virus too, because it's not so deadly. As I mentioned, every death is tragedy. We don't want anything to like that to happen. But on the other hand, it's not so terrible. Before the virus came here, I heard a lot on the internet about China. It sounds very scary. They did a lot. They did this lockdown on the entire city. No one was allowed to go out. But gradually, as we gain more knowledge about this virus, so we are confident we have this vaccine available now. So we are confident we can overcome this. We can defeat, right, this virus.
Thank you, Dr. Shao. Any other questions or any last comments from you, Dr. Shao, at all?
I don't have any questions for you. I would like to just thank you both for providing this opportunity. I'm very happy to have this opportunity to share my professional activities. If it's possible, I would like to do it again. Okay.
Yeah, we would love that. Yeah. We I know that the Spotlight series is something that we've been doing for the past few semesters, I would say. And it's such a privilege, you know, to be able to learn about the amazing work that women are doing on campus. You know, so thank you so much for your time and sharing this with us and allowing us to, you know, get a little preview and ask our questions about it as well. I definitely learned a lot myself. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right. So, well, if we have no further questions, I will go ahead and end this for today. Thank you all so much. I'm going to stop recording.
Okay, bye.
All right.